Hi. Few weeks ago, the Iraqi people started a revolution against their government. Iraq. Do you still remember this country? In this video we'll talk about Iraq, and by the way, this video is not made to make you cry nor sympathize, alright? Because I have learned one thing about this world: Muslims and Arabs should be killed silently and no one should give a crap about them. Because so many people believe that all Muslims and Arabs are thugs and terrorists, right? So this video is made for those in the West who still even care for 1% about what the governments of America, Britain and Iran have done to the Iraqi people for almost 17 years, so shall we begin? So in 2003, these two cute guys have made a cute decision to invade and occupy Iraq under the name of liberating it and getting rid of a great danger, which is the weapons of mass destruction. Several years later, these two guys came up on the media to apologize about the occupation, and they said, "Oh, sorry, the occupation was a mistake." Oh, don't you people commit mistakes, huh? Because apparently there weren't any threats nor weapons in Iraq. And what's more apparent to why America has invaded Iraq was because Saddam Hussein started to sell the oil, the Iraqi oil, by the euro currency and broke the sacred and the holy petrodollar agreement because Iraq was under siege at that time. And as a result of this war, 1 million Iraqis were killed and Iraq was destroyed to the least and last piece of stone of it. The inferior structure was dismantled, and most importantly, Iraq was handled to its biggest and disgraceful enemy, which is Iran, the most brutal and terrorist regime this planet has ever witnessed. For weeks now, Iraqis are protesting peacefully and revolting against the corruption of their government, and they are getting killed for it. One of the richest countries in the world is starving. Iraq has no electricity, no water, no safety, no jobs, no civil rights, no services, nothing. America and Iran have helped ISIS to be created for two reasons. Number one, they wanted to justify their existence and influence in Iraq. Both of them, America and Iran. Number two, they wanted to destroy the history and the future of Iraq and Iraqis. And now look at Iraq. It has indeed no future, no present, but they shall never destroy its history. Iraq, the country that's called the cradle of civilization, where all civilization started, was destroyed by the country that has no history and no civilization at all. We've been living in the Middle East for thousands of years. Muslims, Christians, Jews, everybody was living side by side. No radicalization and no terrorism until America stepped into the Middle East and started all of this. The American and Iranian regimes are the founders of terrorism, especially in the Middle East, because if you go back before 2003, you wouldn't find any radical Islamic or any radical group of people or any terrorists. They are the founders after they stepped in. On the other hand, I just have few questions that I would want you to answer, okay? If America hates Iran so much, why did America handle Iraq to Iran on a silver platter after America invaded Iraq and spent trillions of dollars? Why did America do that? Why America allowed Iran to get into Yemen by controlling the Houthi militia and backing them up and control the whole capital of Yemen? Why did America do that? And besides, why did America allow Iran to get into Lebanon and start up its own militia, which is Hezbollah, to end up controlling the whole entire country of Lebanon? And right now, Iran is about to have nukes after America failed at the negotiations to stop the Iranian nuke agreement. Answer me to those questions, please, and I would really appreciate your smartness. Is it possible that America was so stupid at that time to invade the wrong country, which is Iraq, and leave the most and second most dangerous country on planet Earth after North Korea, which is Iran? Iraq, the country that has no weapons of mass destruction and nothing. Is it possible that America was so stupid? Or we have Plan B, which is what most Arabs know. The United States and Iran are best friends to destroy Arab countries and steal their wealth. End of the story. Iraq, Syria, Yemen and Lebanon are totally destroyed because of the Irani expansion and militias. And if you think otherwise, then go back to my questions and answer them, and I would really appreciate your smartness. Those two clowns are treated as heroes in their home countries, and they are no less than al al-Baghdadi, the leader of ISIS, and Osama bin Laden. They are radical American and British thugs and terrorists. America and Iran have brought thieves and criminals to rule Iraq after the invasion. As an example, Nouri al-Maliki, who has been the Prime Minister of Iraq for so many years, and his government has stolen over $500 billion of Iraqis' money. And Iraqis from that time until nowadays are eating from garbage. So many Iraqis. Iraqis now are living in a country of fire and blood. They are protesting day in and out in the streets, demanding their rights, and they are getting killed for it. Iran and Iraq's governments are killing the Iraqi protesters, and no one is helping the people of Iraq. And right now, Iraq is about to become the new Syria, and a war is about to wage out in between the governments of Iraq and Iran against the people of Iraq. Dear Western governments, I strongly believe that you don't want any more millions of refugees to come to Europe from Iraq, right? So you have to do something about the Iraqi revolution. You have to help the people of Iraq, because Iraqis cannot take it anymore after 17 years of corruption, killing, blood, starvation, and so many negative things. The American soldiers who went to Iraq and went to other places were innocent too, because they were lied to.
Poor people in the deserts of Iraq. Our enemies are not in the poorest countries on the planet, but right here in the richest one.
They were told that they were going to fight terrorism and radicalization, but they didn't find anybody except elderly, and they are meant to invade. Americans shouldn't have stepped foot out of their country and shouldn't have left their families behind. Thousands of young American soldiers have died in Iraq and Afghanistan, and they didn't even know why they were fighting. And yet Donald Trump, the President-elect of the United States, said this:
I would take away their wealth. I would take away the oil.
Instead of making things up and instead of compensating the Iraqis for what his country has done to Iraq, he wants to take the oil. And by the way, he also said this:
wouldn't you be destroying the wealth of Iraq?
No, let me tell you, there is no Iraq. There is no Iraq. Their leaders are corrupt. Excuse me, there are no Iraqis. They're broken up into so many different factions.
Thank you, Donald Trump, for being honest and just telling us what America really wants to do to other nations. Ladies and gentlemen, the people of Iraq need your help. If there's any impartial politician or journalist that still have one single bit of humanity, do something. This is Ahmed from Mr. Foundation, and I approve this word of honesty for today. See you. السوريين أرجو نشر هذا المقطع لأنه سوريا والعراق كلهم رح يضلوا روح وحدة. وأنا سوري وكنت دا أشتغل لسوريا كل هاي السنوات، ولكن كنت مقصر ويا العراقيين، وأني أعتذر لكل متابع عراقي سواء جديد لو قديم عدي على الصفحة، وأقول لكم إن شاء الله ما راح أقصر بحقكم، وهذا أقل شيء أنا أقدر أقدمه الوطني الثاني اللي هو العراق مقارنة بالتضحيات اللي أنتوا قدمتوها. وهاي الثورة العراقية ثورة مباركة لأنها خرجت من كل الطوائف، الشيعي والسني والصبي والمسيحي والكردي، كلهم طلعوا ويا بعض لأنهم ما يريدون يسكتون عن الضيم. وهاي هي الرسالة اللي احنا السوريين قبلكم قبل 9 سنوات بديناها، وإن شاء الله انتوا راح تكملونها وإحنا راح نكملها. هون أحمد من مستر فاونديشن، وهي رسالتي لهذا اليوم. السلام عليكم.